Well, hey, let's talk about your teen's resume. Let's talk about your high schooler, your college kiddo's resume that needs to be created now with your help. So, mamas, do you know that no matter if you've got a middle schooler, high schooler, or college student, we need to be having this discussion about resumes at home. You need to show your teen yours. You need to talk about soft skills. We really need to even get thinking about that first job. So let me know down below, does your teen currently have a job? And if you'd love to share what it is, I'd love to know. We're live here on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. So thank you so much for hanging out with me as we talk all about one of the 12 study skills I teach, which is soft skills. And one of those key components of soft skills is resume writing. So do know your resume needs to be something your teen has seen. Okay, I gotta tell you, so many middle schoolers I work with, they have never even heard the word soft skills, and that's pretty much true for my high schoolers and college students too. But even more importantly and more concerning is they don't even know what a resume really is, what it does, and like what it looks like. They have no idea what parts are, parts of a resume, like what would you call this? If you ask them, hey, to write me a resume, they wouldn't even know where to start. Okay. And that simply becomes because they haven't ever been exposed. Like they don't know what it looks like because they haven't ever seen yours. So no matter if you've been at your job for 3 months, no matter if you've been at your job for 10 years, no matter if you haven't worked for maybe 5 years, do you know we want your teens to see what a resume looks like? We want this to become part of discussion. So that way when your teens then have a class in high school, or maybe they work with a study skills tutor like myself, they will be more prepared and there won't be a scramble at the end of, say, junior year when we're applying for those jobs, for those scholarships, for those colleges to really get that resume together. So I've got some strategies I want to share with you here about what your team needs to do when it comes to a resume. Like, what are those things your team needs to know about a resume, let alone what are those things that your team needs to do now before we really need the resume for that job, for that opportunity. Like we want to start it before there's an actual need for it. So let me explain. Before I do, I want to introduce myself. I'm Jessyka Coulter, CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring. If we haven't had a chance to meet yet, great to have you here. Be sure to hit that follow button and be sure to hit that subscribe button. And this week, actually today and tomorrow, I'm hosting a skill and chill called soft skills, basically, soft skills edition of the Skill and Chill, which is a study skills workshop. And that is me and a group of tweens and teens and young adults talking about soft skills and really helping them with this resume thing, let alone interviews, let alone what is a soft skill, what does it matter to the classroom, let alone every job I'm ever going to have. So you can't sign your teen up for it because unfortunately I missed the deadline, but you can grab the replay and purchase that at the link in the description. So check that out after this video. All right, so what does your teen need to know about resumes? Well, number one, like we talked about, is just knowing what it looks like, okay? From there, we want your teen, as soon as your child starts taking classes for high school credit, to start putting that resume together. Okay, one of the most important things that your child can do in high school, and this also applies to college, is to start keeping track of those classes. Okay, like something as simple as just having a Google Doc or like a Word document or even like a notebook, as long as it's not going to get lost. And we just start writing out what the classes your child has actually taken. And this isn't just like math freshman year, like we want algebra 1. All right, we don't want just, a foods class. We want, creative foods, whatever. Okay, or, family cooking, like whatever it is, we want the specific name. And the reason this matters is when your child gets older and your child applies for internships, for jobs, for scholarships, for specific programs at specific colleges, or even just a certain college in general. If your child needs to say, hey, look, I have the experience because I've learned about this before, I've done this before, your child will be able to prove that and support that by having that class listed on his or her resume. Other things to think about are extracurriculars and any type of community service volunteer hours, okay? Your child needs to keep track of what club was I part of when, and what did I actually do in that club, especially if there was any type of leadership role. We want your teen to record that every semester. Okay, we want your teen, and like I said, this is bare minimum, say freshman year, bare minimum winter break. is every semester I want this resume to be updated. So you really want your teens to do this, say, winter break and summer break. But maybe your homeschool family, maybe your child is already doing things, say in middle school, that are going to help with that resume for high school and beyond. Well, then start putting that together now. Again, figure out where it's going to go and just start recording it. And just even if it's a list, it's not formatted all pretty, like a resume needs to be when it's ready to be an actual resume. We just want to have the information that we need. So when it's time to put the resume together, we can actually do that very quickly instead of trying to go, did you do this last year? Or what was that thing called again? Like, we just have all the information one place. That's what we're going for. Okay. So when it comes to middle school, like I said, really think about what is your child doing for, say, high school credit. And then also think about, is my child doing this like just now, like for a couple hours on a Saturday, and we're never going to do this again? Or is this something my teen's going to do for the next several years? And so it's going to look better on the resume for that scholarship application, for that community service project that, hey, we've been doing this not just in high school. So definitely record that information. And then lastly, one of the most important things that I want you and your team to talk about when it comes to your resume is, okay, how did you decide your references? Okay, I know kind of thoughts, strategies for that are changing. Is it something you provide when it's asked for at an interview? Is it something that's just immediately on your resume? Like, I know that changes kind of based on the year. So when you're showing your teen your resume, you're not showing it to your teen with, hey, this is the best resume ever written, unless maybe you've had really good luck with your resume and always have gotten the interviews you wanted and have gotten the jobs you wanted. Then maybe in that case, yeah, maybe your resume is a template. But do know your teen really needs to start thinking about those references. All right, I see this happen a lot, that when teens get, again, older, especially in the high school level, let alone the college level, if they had a coach, and they had a teacher, they had an adult in their life that was not a family member they really clicked with, but then they don't ask for that reference, like while they know that teacher, that adult, well, it becomes harder to have a good reference later on. So encourage your teen to think about those connections, make those asks sooner rather than later, because I know you have references based on experiences, right? It's not just somebody random. It's somebody that will say good things about you, that you actually want to talk to a prospective business owner, a prospective boss, somebody that you trust and like, and you've developed a relationship with. So let your teen know, okay, part of this whole getting along with our teachers, getting along with other people, those soft skills that I'm teaching at this workshop, they really matter for your next job, for your next opportunity. So point of this video, mamas, was really to help you understand why it is so important for your teens to know what a resume looks like sooner rather than later, let alone for you and your teens to realize, okay, this is not something that we don't talk about, and this is something that we are consistently thinking about throughout all of high school, all of college, literally any type of kind of next steps, those kind of preparing for that next opportunity as an adult. So if you have questions, let me know down below. I'd love to know what your plan is. If you haven't ever talked about resumes with your kids, I would love to know down below when you plan on just opening that topic. If we've maybe talked about jobs before, but maybe you and your teen haven't sat down to put a resume together or even started with like what that would even look like, let me know when you plan on having that talk. And remember, that workshop, that Skill and Chill, is waiting for your teen. It is a 2-day workshop, so an hour each day. You're going to have access to the replay for 6 months. So go to that link, grab that, and do know that your teen is going to be ready for that resume, for that first interview, let alone that first day when he or she attends the workshop. Have a great night, mamas. See you soon in the next video.